What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz and
Henry Hill
here for the new edition of Cinephellas Podcast, episode 49. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a video format podcast, but we'll have the audio up on iTunes and YouTube as well. And it's good to see you, my friend. I traveled down here about 4 hours to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been a blast the past day. I've been shooting a lot of videos, talking movies, TV shows, everything we do as best friends. That's what we like to do. The last podcast, I think it was episode 47, we're talking about like Walker, Texas Ranger, a bunch of movies, El Camino coming out. But tonight we wanted to talk about, watching El Camino, returning to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and seeing the next chapter in Jesse Pinkman's life. A bunch of movie news and TV news as well. So with El Camino, the new film just dropped on Netflix. Vince Gilligan, the mastermind behind Breaking Bad, his new film that hit the streaming service. El Camino had an absolute blast with it. Came out a few weeks ago. I reviewed it right here on our YouTube channel, but I wanted to talk about it with my mate here, Henry Hill. What'd you think of El Camino?
It was really solid. Yeah, it picks up from the events right at the end of the final episode of Breaking Bad. So, we see Jesse fleeing the scene. He's just been broken out. Walter White came back, killed all the hillbillies with this makeshift machine gun in the back of a car.
One of the greatest scenes.
Yeah, it was really cool. It just sprayed bullets in there. Of course, killed all the bad guys. And Jesse and Walt ducked so they didn't get hit until you find out that actually Walter did get hit.
Yeah.
Walter. Anyways, it picks up right from the ending. If we find out what happens to Jesse, we never got that resolve. We saw him getting free, but this is saying what happens now. Well, everybody's going to be on him. He's going to be fugitive number one. He's going to have all the cops after him.
Public enemy number one for sure. We saw him driving out of Todd and his uncle's place, compound escaping. So we have Heisenberg, Walter White returning to break him out. They kind of rekindle their differences and, saying, sorry, I fucked up, I'm getting you out. And them killing off basically all the characters, Jesse killing Todd, and then taking off. So them picking up with this film, it's immediately after, which is kind of funny. I talked about in my review, they're obviously older now. It was 6 years ago. A little older. Got Todd, played by Jesse Plemons, gained a lot of weight. But we see where he's at, the emotional distraught. He's, broken, everything he's been through. Jesse has his PTSD after what happened to him through the course of the TV show, and more importantly, him being caged up like an animal, forced to make meth. And him not wanting to be there. So we see where he's at. He ends up going back to his friend's house, Badger and Skinny Pete returning, which I absolutely loved in this.
Skinny Pete had some good lines in that.
He did. He was great. He's like, because you're my hero. What did he say?
Yeah.
He took his beanie. He's like, you're my hero, yo.
Yeah, he really helps Jesse out. Him and Badger.
Yep.
They see what he's been through, the time that he's been locked up here like an animal, and they're willing to help him out. He did then some favors.
Yep.
And, helped them out when they needed it, and they returned the favor. It's pretty cool. So that sets up the rest of the movie, and basically Aaron Paul's on the run. He's going after this money. I think it's in Todd's place, right? He knows where some money was hidden. He's going to go back and get it.
Yeah, they set up that whole scene of him returning to Todd's apartment. It's abandoned because Todd's dead. It's being investigated by the cops and shit, so he breaks in. And one of the best scenes in the film, honestly, in my opinion, the way it was filmed, it was like Jesse's like a mouse in a maze looking for the cheese, just the way he's moving around trying to find the money. It was like the over-the-top shot, a really great scene in the film. It builds up a lot of like tension, and you're like the edge of your seat, not knowing if Jesse's going to get out of there alive or not, if he's going to find this money. Really great setup of this backstory of him and Todd back in Breaking Bad days, essentially. When he was caged up, they had this story, and they kind of went on this drive and stuff that happened.
Yeah, it really fills in some of the blanks that you had from the finale.
Yep.
It fills in some of the pieces. You do see these flashback scenes with the characters, how they look today. So like you mentioned, it does throw you off a little bit at first. You see, obviously, Jesse Plemons gained weight. People are looking older. And then Walter White, spoiler, returns for the flashback scene in the diner. Even he looks a little off. And
yeah, I can see that.
He was doing a play on Broadway, so he couldn't really
shave his head, right?
So
he had like a bald cap.
A bald cap. So it does look a little off. But it was still awesome, and it was well done. It wasn't, you'd think if there's going to be a Breaking Bad movie, Heisenberg should be in it, but Vince Gilligan's like, no, we're not going to sacrifice the story just to bring, Walter White back to make us more popular. This is Jesse's story. Mm-hmm. He's going to fit into a scene that's crucial for their relationship and kind of something that's driving him forward as he, eventually in this movie, finds the vacuum cleaner guy.
Yep,
And,
that we were talking about in other podcasts, kind of predicting that, Walter and Saul go into this guy to get new identities and basically take off, start a new life. This guy comes back, Jesse starts talking to him, trying to, pay him some money so he can start his new life. Look past the flashback scenes, which is kind of distracting at times. Overall, it's a really good movie. It's really well written. The pacing's fantastic. The music, a lot of intensity. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. I like the send-off of Jesse Pinkman, the chapter, the ending of his chapter. And I love what they did with the character at the very end. I thought it was very soothing, and it fulfilled all my needs for this movie. And I just thought it was a great way to go out with, Aaron Paul playing Jesse.
Just such an iconic performance, and this movie, he's never been better in the role.
His best role to date, for sure. His best performance.
Don't be surprised if he definitely gets nominated for an Emmy, I guess.
An Emmy.
I don't know, would it be an Emmy or an
No,
Emmy?
because it's a movie.
Yeah.
But, Netflix movies are kind of debating that, if they're going to be up for Oscars. But it's an Oscar-worthy performance, in my opinion. I think it maybe not necessarily will win compared to, like, Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, but I thought it was very worthy of at least a nomination, because it is Aaron Paul's best performance to date, and he did something really great with his character in the next chapter, seeing what happens to this guy, all the shit he's been through over the years, all the people he's loved has been killed, he's alone, so what's he going to do? How's he going to get out of this situation and start a new life, a life he deserves, because he's done everything. And he turned out to be a pretty good person, from the start of the show to the end. You really like him, and then you hate Heisenberg at the end.
Yeah.
So they do like a role reversal, but you really care for this character, and I thought he just did a fantastic job. This is his best performance, his best character he's played, and I'm really excited to see more Aaron Paul in the future, what he does.
Yeah, he's done some great stuff since Breaking Bad that I've always wanted to follow him on.
The Path.
He did the Need for Speed movie, which wasn't that great, but it was still pretty good. Like
that was one of the first movies I reviewed for Nerd Locker out in Vegas. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, and he did the Hulu show, The Path, which is awesome. Fantastic,
especially
amazing.
That last season where he finally
amazing. They need to pick that up on a different streaming platform.
I know, they were awesome together. And, that cast was great.
Michelle Monaghan.
Monaghan, yeah, they're like
Michelle
a cult.
Monaghan. Yeah, cult.
He eventually becomes a cult leader.
Yep.
He starts out as just like one of this group.
Just one of the members, and he became like the leader.
His son looks like Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, Hawk.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. He's done a lot of great stuff. I'm really interested to see what he does with the rest of his career. I think there's going to be some big movies coming his way, and he's going to be part of some really great stuff. Really fantastic actor. One of my favorites, for sure.
Yeah, especially impressive considering that Breaking Bad ended all those years ago, and then he's able to pick it up in this movie and just like portray all the hurt and everything.
Bringing back all those, all the complexities and emotions, of the audience watching what they went through in 2013 when it ended, and picking up 6 years later.
You can tell, him and Vince Gilligan.
They get each other.
Yeah, they just understand each other. Vince Gilligan wrote this for him, and Aaron Paul had an understanding. Like, if Vince says we're going to do it, I'm going to do it. So they made a nice movie, a nice ending to Jesse's character. And I don't know, what do you think? Do you think Vince Gilligan does something else in this universe? Do you think that we're going to see Walter and Jesse show up in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I do.
Better Call Saul?
Better Call Saul, for sure. I definitely see them showing up. Yeah. At least an episode. I don't think this is the final time we'll see these two characters. They'll definitely show up in the Better Call Saul. It's still the Breaking Bad universe. But in terms of like more Breaking Bad or movies, I think there's not going to be any more. This is it. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because in Better Call Saul, we're slowly watching him devolve, and from this pretty good guy lawyer into this scumbag, obviously, that'll take care of all the criminals.
Yeah, dirty lawyer.
Dirty lawyer. But it'll be interesting to see, because so far in the show, we've seen the flash forwards to where he is now after Breaking Bad.
Working at Cinnabon.
He's got the mustache. He's still paranoid.
Yeah.
When are we gonna?
How's that going to meet up with the rest of the characters if they do? I think they're going to answer that in the upcoming Better Call Saul. How that all intertwines.
Yeah, right. And when they do bring in Walt and Jesse, is it going to look, kind of how it did in El Camino, kind of throw you off? It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah. It's Vince Gilligan. He's I don't even know how to put it. He's just a genius, I guess. Just the way he writes scripts and characters, and I just love what he does with everything. And a pure genius, one of the greatest TV shows ever made. Really fantastic movie, really great chapter of the Breaking Bad universe. And we slowly got more Better Call Saul coming to, was it AMC?
AMC.
AMC, yep. So next up, what else we have in terms of news and reviews and stuff like that?
Well, Logan, I'm searching the internet here.
The interwebs, www.askjeeves.
Only use Apple products here, boys.
Product placement.
Everything we pull out 50 things.
We get sued.
All right, so let me find a good story for us to talk about. All right, I was just looking here. Well, actually, tonight during the game, we have the final Star Wars trailer premiere tonight. So we're going to get a good look at that and see how this new trilogy is going to end. And we have J.J. Abrams back, who did Force Awakens.
Yep.
So how is it going to end? There's a lot of questions still.
I have no idea
who Rey's parents are. This is going to be answered.
She go to the dark side.
Yeah, is she going to go to the dark side? We've seen some in the trailer. That could be a dream. Who knows? We've seen the Knights of Ren in this one.
Yep. They look
we've
pretty
seen
good.
some really cool teases of some big action set pieces. We've seen Lando.
Lando's returning. Billy D. Williams.
From what I've seen, I've got my hopes up. So
yeah, I just don't want to go in like super excited and it just disappoints me like the last few Star Wars films.
For you, it'll depend on how much Oscar Isaac's in it.
God, fuck no. No, he's growing on me. But yeah, with the few trailers we've seen, it definitely looks good. I'm glad that J.J. Abrams is directing this film because I love The Force Awakens. I love what he did with that. And honestly, I think he should have directed most of these films. They just wasn't cohesive. They're just the stories, all the different directors and reshoots and all that shit. So hopefully this will be a great film, the ending of the Skywalker saga. And, going out with a bang, so to speak, in the galaxy far, far away. And hopefully they do answer a lot of questions we have with Rey's parents. Yeah. I'm interested to see who it is, how that all works out.
What does the title mean, Rise of Skywalker? Are we talking about Luke or are we talking about Rey being a Skywalker?
Yeah, I think it's Rey being a Skywalker. Not necessarily his daughter, but some sort of relationship.
Right.
And I think this is her film. This is the final chapter setting her up. And yeah, I think she'll survive. It's going to be super epic. Daisy Ridley's a really great actress. And I think this is going to be her film setting up the Skywalker, how that all works out. Her parents are, and if she's related to Luke and Leia.
Can't wait to find out and see some more footage tonight when the trailer premieres during tonight's Monday Night Football game.
Football!
So, yeah, we should actually be home in time to watch that.
After the movie, yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Hopefully check that out. We'll post it up here on our social media sites.
For sure.
Talk about it in the next podcast.
We'll definitely talk about that. So I'm scrolling through some news. Another big story is the new Ghostbusters movie.
Yes, 2020.
Finally wrapped. It's all done. So now they're just going to edit it and it'll come out next year.
2020.
Looks like all the pictures. Everybody looks happy. It looks like a nice set.
2020.
2020, yeah. Ghostbusters 2020.
2020.
So we have everybody
Carrie
back.
Coon.
We have everybody back. We don't know for sure if Bill Murray's coming back. But
He'll be back. Dan Aykroyd. Ernie Hudson.
Ghostbusters 2020. Jason Reitman. Ivan Reitman's son.
Yeah. Ivan Reitman's been all that. Is he like producing it or something? But he's in all the.
He's on set too.
Yeah, probably. He's like, no, don't fuck that up, Jason. His son.
He fires his son.
No, it looks like they're all like super happy and like seems like a really great atmosphere for filming. Carrie Coon, you have Finn Wolfhard and that other younger actress.
Looks like they mix in the older Ghostbusters with the younger crowd. So it'll be interesting to see Paul Rudd's role.
The new generation, the next chapter, right? How it's going to all work out. I think it's in good hands. I'm really excited to see this, more importantly, seeing a first trailer or something from the movie. Probably next year during the holidays or something. We'll get at least a teaser. So that wrap filming.
Another big story that we've learned pretty recently is about the Batman. First, we've heard some pretty big casting news. Heard that Jonah Hill was in the running for either the Riddler or the Penguin.
Yep.
There were several rumors about that, but he ended up passing on the movie. So then we found out the next day, I think, or a couple days later, that Paul Dano was hired to play I think he's going to be the Riddler.
The Riddler, yep. Paul Dano.
That'd be really cool to see it. He's a good actor.
He's a fucking awesome, very underrated actor.
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood with him and what the hell's that guy's name?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, so there Will Be Blood, one of my favorite Paul Dano movies, and really fantastic actor. I'm really excited for this. I think he's going to do something special with this character. Just from all the news they've been posting about the Batman, Matt Reeves directing this film, Robert Pattinson, playing the Cape Crusader, more like the detective. They're focusing on the detective side of Batman, Bruce Wayne, introducing the Riddler. We had
Catwoman's cast too.
Catwoman is what's her name?
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz is going to be playing Catwoman, so that's cool. Selena Kyle, and the Penguin. I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
They're talking about Josh.
Jeffrey Wright maybe playing Commissioner.
Oh, yeah, he got cast. I don't know if they're going to do anything with the Penguin, but yeah, that's fantastic casting news. And then Michael Giacchino is going to score the film. Huge fan of his. Do you like Michael Giacchino?
Yeah, he scored some pretty cool things. I think he scored some of the episodes of Lost.
Yep.
If not the whole thing. I just remember some epic sounding scores.
One that comes to mind for me, one of my favorite Pixar movies, Up. He actually won an Oscar, I believe, for Up for the score, the music. Yeah, I love this dude. So that's really great news. I mean, across the board, it's in good hands. I have faith in this movie. I don't think it's going to disappoint. Robert Pattinson's a fantastic, underrated actor.
How's he going to fill out that suit, sport?
With a lot of extra meat. So
I think he's going to pack on some pounds?
Yeah, he's going to be definitely lifting, more muscular. He's always kind of skinny, kind of drug addict in the movies, so he'll put on some weight. So excited for that. That's some great casting, great news, Michael Giacchino. So next up, we want to talk about The Joker that was just released. Todd Phillips' film starring Joaquin Phoenix. It's the highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
Yeah, it's approaching it. It hasn't grossed it yet, but it's about to.
It's pretty close, so it's definitely.
So it'll be Deadpool 1 and 2. And one other film, I can't. Venom? No,
Logan maybe?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Logan, yeah. That's really awesome news because that movie's fantastic. We went to see it, my wife and I. I reviewed it. It's up here on our YouTube channel. It's definitely social commentary with a lot of shit going on, mental illness. Definitely a different take on the Joker character that I don't think we've seen before. More of an origin story, how he became what he became.
Clown Prince of Crime.
Yeah, the Clown Prince of Crime, how he became this character. Joaquin Phoenix, definitely one of his best performances, up there with his portrayal of Johnny Cash. Oscar-worthy performance, fantastic movie across the board, super dark. It made me feel uneasy, like leaving the theater, I felt like sad and like all these different emotions. And that's when you know it's a good film, when you feel all these different things.
Yeah, it really makes you feel like almost guilty in a way, the movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, because, everybody's picked on somebody at one point.
Yeah, and it makes you feel bad.
Yeah, this person's been picked on by everybody. Plus, he has mental illness in his DNA already from his mother. Mm-hmm. Some crazy scenes, like super violent once he finally snaps. Mm-hmm. And of course, we go into his mind and kind of see him hallucinations and stuff.
Yeah, you don't know if it's really happening or if it's all.
By the end of the movie, he ends up going on to this talk show. Mm-hmm. And the iconic, he's finally Joker. When he goes full Joker, it's awesome.
But Robert De Niro, I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. The way it was shot, it definitely had the Scorsese vibe to it.
Yeah, it did.
The whole atmosphere of like a dirty New York back in the 70s and 80s, and really raw film. And I love the scene with Robert De Niro, him shooting him.
Yeah, boom!
Spoiler.
Just in front of a bunch of audience.
Yeah, and just shows who he is. And at the very end, and the scene of him dancing, and he's a total nut job. And
yeah, that dance was really crazy, and how skinny he got for the
He got so skinny for this movie. Lost a ton of weight. But yeah, really fantastic movie. We both really enjoyed it. Definitely heavy contender come Oscar season.
I'll be picking it up on 4K.
Oh, same here. Adding it to the collection. It's a movie I want to rewatch and see if I pick up on different things throughout the film as well. We just checked out the pilot episode of Watchmen on HBO, just released. Had a really great time with it. I'm on the fence about how I feel overall because I was really confused. I'm not really familiar with the Alan Moore and David Gibbons comic. I never read it. I just saw the film that came out. Zack Snyder's film. This time around, the Watchmen pilot episode, we see Regina King, I guess, ex-cop, and now she's like vigilante justice, working with the chief of police, which is Don Johnson. And
good old Don.
Sonny Crockett. A lot of great characters. Some of the masks in the episode are really well done. You have the cops like disguising their face, and it's totally like a corrupt world. It's a take on the world that we live in now, just with everything going on. And really had a good time with it. Regina King was probably the best performance in the episode. Interested to watch the show and see what they do with these characters, how it intertwines in Mr. Manhattan, Rorschach. You have kind of these white supremacists that wear the Rorschach masks. How these all characters work together and what they're going to do with this season. Damon Lindelof, his series and his take, basically like the sequel to the comics, his take on this. And really fantastic writing. It was super dark and gritty and violence, and definitely a strong pilot episode. I'm not saying it was great because I didn't really understand everything, but I thought it was a solid pilot episode, and I think it's going to get better throughout the show, and it'll make more sense.
Yeah, it's visually, the main takeaway I got from it's visually very cool to look at. It's very, there's a lot of colors, and the masks are all interesting.
Yep, and I thought Regina King, she looked awesome. She looked like a like a ninja, but like a superhero, I guess, but she has like the hood on and the mask and like the black around her eyes. She looked really cool, and she had like the badge as well, and she kicked some fucking ass in this episode. She was pretty badass. But really solid. We had a good time with the pilot episode. We just watched it last night. It's on every Sunday on HBO. So check it out if you've not seen it. Another topic we wanted to talk about, we're huge fans of Castle Rock on Hulu, the Stephen King universe of Castle Rock. All these different characters from his books all brought into the series. First season was really phenomenal, I thought, for the most part. The last 2 episodes were a little weird. I wish they would have ended it a little differently. They didn't really answer all the questions. But this time around, season 2 debuts on Wednesday, October 23rd, and we're going to be watching that on Hulu. Yeah. The introduction of Annie
Wilkes
from Misery, played by Kathy Bates back in the film. Mm-hmm. But this time around, Annie Wilkes is played by Lizzie Kaplan. She was in Masters of Sex. You watch that show on Showtime?
Showtime.
Yeah, she's a really great actress. It looks like it's like her origin story of like how she became the character we know from Misery, a younger version of Annie Wilkes. We had Tim Robbins that's coming back, for this season. He wasn't in the first one, but he was in Stephen King movies, The Shawshank Redemption. No stranger to acting. He's a great actor. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so he's going to be in the new season. Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade's in this, and a bunch of other people. I don't know if they're going to do anything from last season that had to do with Jackie Torrance.
I think it's all separate, but
yeah, it's like an anthology. But yeah, so that'd be cool if they kind of incorporate Jackie Torrance's character in the second season. That was my favorite part of last season, the first season. Incorporating the Overlook Hotel and Shining. Yeah, they're really cool. But yeah, the second season that comes out this Wednesday, October 23rd. So if you guys haven't checked out the first season, definitely stream it and check it out before the new season starts on Wednesday.
Can't wait.
Definitely going to be reviewing that.
Yeah.
Binging that, baby.
Binge it up. Is it going to be released all at one time, or is it?
It's probably weekly.
On Hulu.
Hulu, yeah. So definitely check that out. So that's it for this edition of Cinephellas Podcast, episode 49, video format this time around.
It's been a blast here being live and in color with you, Mike.
Live in Technicolor.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing 31 days of horror all month. Probably won't get out a video every day of the month, but we'll get as much as we possibly can. It's been a blast this month. If you guys haven't already, check out our videos right here on our YouTube channel and subscribe below. Also check us out on our social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and also our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest in movie and TV news and
reviews, sport.
Reviews? What do you mean? We love, Halloween, 31 Days of Horror, so we're going to come back and continue doing this podcast. Maybe we'll do some more videos together, because I kind of like this guy. It's a fun atmosphere to be in.
He's not so bad.
I just move in.
Move yourself in,
I'm
problem.
the stoner that sleeps on the couch.
Guy on the couch.
It was a good time, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Doing a video podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We had a blast shooting this for you guys.
Well, it's time to head to the movies.
To do the movies. The popcorn. We're going to go see Zombieland 2, so stick around for that. We're going to have our video review up of that film this week.
How many Jesse Eisenberg hairpieces will we give it?
1 or 5. We'll see. This is Logan Myerz and Henry Hill signing out from Cinephellas Studios
here in Jacksonville.
Until the next movie review and podcast on our YouTube channel.
I can't wait for the next one.
I'm sweating molasses.
Those boys are wild.
Out there in the backpack, they are wild. Cheers!